You know, I'm actually writing and directing my first short film this summer.
Yeah, and I'm starring it too. Definitely is a lot of work, but it'll be worth it for sure.
Wait, sorry, what was your question again?
Oh, right, my credit card information. I forgot this was a spam call and I accidentally picked up. I'm gonna hang up now.
Hello, my name is Emily, as you may or may not know, and I do have to mention it because I'm working very hard on it and I'm going to be very chalant about it. I wrote and will direct my first short film at the end of the summer that I'm also starring in, of course. Bad Company will be my directorial debut. It is a dark comedy about the struggle of stability versus passion. If you would like to support the project or just hear more about the project, you can click the link down below. That's where the seed and spark will be. Even if you can't contribute financially, because I know it's hard times for everyone, if you just want to like spread the word and be like, hey, there's like this woman. So once upon a time, there's this woman, and she's making her directorial debut. Do you want to, like, spread the word about that? That'd be great. But all right, enough about my dreams and aspirations. Who cares about that? Today, we are going to be taking a look at the subreddit r/niceguys. And, spoiler alert, these guys are not that nice. They are not very nice. In fact, they're scaring me. These are the types of men that women avoid like the plague. And I'm sure a lot of men also don't like these types of men because, well, they're doing terrible PR for their team. Basically, you guys can use this video as a guideline on how not to interact with others, unless you want to appear as if you were executing some sort of social experiment. You know, like that one show, what is that called? What Would You Do? Where someone is kind of acting so abhorrent that it's like, oh, there must be cameras around.
Just like you probably shouldn't be in this country.
Oh my God.
First and foremost, we have a conversation taking place in Snapchat DMs. Hey! Hi. I just need to get this off my chest, but ever since high school, I've had a crush on you. But you've always had a boyfriend. But yeah, it's always nagging me, and I felt like I should tell you. Maybe we can talk and go on a date? Thanks for telling me if it helped you. But I'm not into dating anyone, but you're really nice and you'll find someone. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I would never be into a person like you. Ugly. Yes, right. You were kidding. That's a really funny joke. I especially love the punchline where you just called her ugly. So this is seemingly a classic move that I like to call the U-turn, where you're trying to move in one direction and then you see a stop sign that's saying, okay, I think maybe it's time to pump the brakes. And instead of pausing, taking a moment to reflect, and then calmly moving forward, you hit the gas, turn around, bump into a curb, and your tires are screeching so loud that it sounds like they're hitting a fucking whistle note. I think it's really interesting how this tactic is meant to avoid embarrassment, when really this is sort of the most embarrassing thing you can do. Like, in what other context of being rejected would this type of behavior not be completely embarrassing? Like, if a job recruiter says, thank you for taking the time to interview with us, but we've decided to go into another direction, you're not gonna respond, well, I only sent in my resume as a joke. Well, I don't even want to work at your company. Why would I want to work at your company? Ugly, fugly company. So here's a little situation that unfortunately I'm sure some of you have experienced. Hey. Hey, how have you been? You're looking great. Hey, how's it going? Hey! You know, I watched Peaky Blinders like crazy after you showed me it. For years, I loved that show and you introduced me to it. You made me origami and rice ball food. You were dope. I wish I could have been better to you. I've always wished that. I don't know, I'm sorry. I've always felt connected to you and I needed to say it. Hey, how's it going? Not trying to bother you, just wanted to see. Just seeing if you wanted to catch up. I don't know why I think of you as a different person. Sorry for messaging you. Crazy for me to have memories, I guess. Hey! This is redacted! Would you be willing to catch up sometime? Well, no worries. Hope you're doing well. Hey! Sorry, I have a very serious relationship. I'm not interested in talking to past partners as I focus on my future with my current partner. For sure. That's why I asked. LOL. You don't have to be rude. A lot easier ways to say, hey, sorry, I'm seeing someone. Something that is very striking to me about this type of person is just how content they are just talking to themselves. Maybe they should become a YouTuber. I do understand the value of persistence, but I think that's more for opening a pickle jar or trying to learn long division. I feel like persistence, when it comes to women or courtship, whatever, is a bit outdated, at least from a Western mindset, right? Because you might ask somebody's grandparents, oh, how did you meet? And then Grandpa Harold is like, well, I wouldn't leave her alone for a year and a half, and she eventually just gave in. You know, when I hear stuff like that, I'm not necessarily like, I can hear the bells. Just so we have the timeline down, the first message was sent on July 10th, and this continued until early to mid-May. So that's around 10 months of messaging somebody with no response. Just 10 straight months of, hello? Is anybody there? Can anybody hear me? You know, he's in the DMs, but baby, it's pitch black. Okay, he's in the DMs with a torch and a khaki vest, and the only thing that he is hearing is the echo of his own voice. All right, so this is a dating profile bio, dating as in you want to attract women. Let's keep that in mind. What can you offer me other than some cat? Probably absolutely nothing, so don't think you're the prize when us real men are the true prize. Oh my god, I'm swooning. Now, I know that people's innate reaction to dating profiles like this is, number one, how dare you? Number two, why would you speak that way if you're trying to attract women? And here's the thing. Do I like the bio? Can't say I do. But with this type of dating profile, you know exactly what you're gonna get. It's like, I would almost rather someone just be upfront and transparent like this, rather than find out like 5 dates in when the mask starts to slip. That is scarier to me. Where it's like, oh, you know, maybe I've already caught feelings a little bit. We've already had sex. We've been spending so much time together. And then all of a sudden, I catch a glimpse of his Spotify recently played, and the podcasts have me aghast. Poetry, hi poetry. But with a guy like this, nothing is slipping, right? Because there is no mask. He's essentially flashing his personality to the world, trench coat on the floor. Obviously, it would be best case scenario if we just did not have men like this existing at all, but I think the men who conceal their true selves are way more insidious to me. It's the type of guy who, when you ask him who he voted for, he'll say stuff like, I voted for who I most aligned with at the time. Or, I don't believe in politics. I believe in love. That's not what I asked you. So, yeah, to severely search for the bright side of things with a guy like this, you don't have to guess where he was January 6th. Baby, we know. And even if he wasn't there, I know the FOMO was bursting out of his ass. Okay, so obviously none of these have been really great, but I'm telling you guys to brace yourselves because this one is just crazy. Okay. Hey, I'm so sorry. You're an amazing person, but I just don't think we get along that well. You never really came off your phone and you were constantly ignoring me when I asked you about things. I suggest socializing on a date rather than ignoring them. Overall, you seem like a nice person, but I think I caught you at the wrong moment and I hope you find somebody else. Have a nice day. Okay, number one, I never ignored you. Sure, I'd be on my phone, but I was texting my friend since he was curious where I was, actually, and maybe next time you start going on and on about your day, maybe think about how boring it could be for the other person. I'm a nice guy, you know. I've never had anyone as rude and egotistical as you. Talk back to me like this. Have some respect. Number two, I think you lied about only dating 2 people. With your body and looks, I highly doubt you anus a blank, a redacted. I'm like, maybe he said but is he complimenting her then? Like, you're so sexy, like I doubt your body count is only 2. I don't really know. Don't even try to lie to me, you. I paid for the meal and drove you back, yet you didn't even give me anything at all, not even a kiss. I won't have a nice day because you ruined it for me. We split the bill, and you didn't make any actions that implied you actually liked me. Plus, you ignored me. You are not a nice guy. And this is where it gets crazy. It's always the women who think they have actual worth. You think you're so much better than me just because you have a job? You are worthless woman and feminist. I thought trying a feminist wouldn't be so bad. I could break you and make it fun for me, but I've never had a worse date. Next time you go on about how successful you are, maybe think about how it can make a high-value male feel bad. Try being a lesbian, you blank. Hell yeah, Scissor City, here I come. Redacted, you are a lesbian. Even worse. Have fun scissoring. I will. You lost a nice guy, by the way. I could have given you my life. You stink. You have no social skills and no job. I'd much rather date a woman. Thanks. Good Lord. Let's dissect this because there's a lot to go through here. This guy's actually insane. But let's start with, sure, I'd be on my phone, but I was texting my friend since he was curious where I was actually. Okay. So when he first started that sentence, I thought it was going to go in the direction of, but I had a family emergency, or things have been crazy at work, which, lo and behold, he is unemployed. But no, of course, those situations are null. The reality is so much more emergent than that. My friend expressed curiosity. The gravity of that situation cannot be weighed. And yes, during our date, I could have just texted him on a date, BRB. But no, instead I continued to text him throughout the date because I am thorough. Is that a crime? And when he said, and maybe next time you start going on and on about your day, maybe think about how boring it could be for the other person. Obviously, this is a vile individual. And I am so unhappy to report that that did make me laugh. I'm just imagining talking with somebody and then them interrupting me to say, I'm sorry, but your lack of consideration for how uninteresting this conversation is kind of a red flag for me. Oh! Now, one part in particular that really blew me away was when he said, you are a worthless woman and feminist. I thought trying a feminist wouldn't be so bad. I could break you to make it fun for me. You need to be institutionalized. Break you to make it fun for me? She's not a fucking Kinder egg, you leaky ass. You're talking about dating feminists as if you're like trying spicy food or skydiving, you know? Well, this is a little adventurous. It's a little outside of my wheelhouse. And the last thing I want to address is, you lost a nice guy, by the way. I could have given you my life. And it's, yeah, I'm sure you could have. You don't have a job right now. You don't probably have a lot of other things to do. Honestly, even like outside of the high value male nonsense, to say something like this after one date, you could have given me your life. Mama, I'm not a succubus. It's a bit crazy. Yeah, I need to start saying this just whenever I don't get my way. The barista says that they're out of oat milk. Well, I could have given you my life. Here's a text message. You made me feel uncomfortable. I didn't like the fact that the barman told me I was a lucky guy for being out with you. Next time you need to tone down the hair, makeup, clothing. I'm not the lucky one. You are. And that needs to be remembered. Plus, the way you insisted on paying for half of the meal in front of the waiting staff made me look bad. Was there any need? They're going to think that I can't afford to take an average girl out for a meal. You're being too sexy and generous, and it's making me look bad. The thing is that this text basically solidifies to me that she is the lucky one just by default. Because by the way you're speaking, no woman would be lucky to be with you. So when he says, I'm not the lucky one, you are, and that needs to be remembered. The only way that's going to happen is if there's some sort of Mandela effect going on where people are remembering things that never happened. The thought of him saying, you need to uggo it up so that we can level the playing field is, you know, I can't glow up, so you need to glow down. I want you to replace all of your skincare, shampoo, conditioner with lard, and you need to get rid of all of your fashionable clothes and just wear washcloths that are hand-stitched together. And then imagine after all that, they still call him the lucky one. She's walking around looking like a cave woman during a heat wave, and the highest praise he can ever get is, well, you two are in the same league now. I mean, this whole thing is really screaming to me, steak too juicy, lobster too buttery, because you're telling me that you had a gorgeous woman asking to split the bill and you thought that was a bad thing. Like, I think a lot of people, if a beautiful woman asked to split the bill, that'd be like God asking, do you want to go to heaven? Obviously, no guy should be the type of guy to expect anything just because he paid for a date, but especially not this guy, right? Because if he were to hypothetically pull out the, what do you mean you're not gonna give me a quickie? I paid for the first date. Yeah, well, I offered to split it, but then you pulled out a sword and told me that I was dishonoring your manhood. Okay, here's another dating profile. The key to my heart is loyalty, emotional maturity, being kind and understanding. And then he replied to this girl's Hinge prompt. So the prompt says, together we could go to the gym, pick up Panda Express on the way home, and then cuddle and watch YouTube together. And his response to this is, get serious. What do you even mean? You ain't about that life. Let's get serious now. What makes you say that? I'm so confused by your profile and approach to this conversation. What's confusing? It's pretty cut and dry, lol. I can't tell if you're joking or not with the let's get serious message. I can't tell if you're joking regarding the actual statement itself. Sounds too good to be true and too chill. No, why would I just straight up put something I wasn't about in my bio? First, I don't know you, so you could be completely falsifying everything. Secondly, a lot of people say stuff like that and are completely emotionally unstable. Okay, first, why would I lie on a dating app? Secondly, and more importantly, what made you think that get serious would in any world somehow make a woman, stable or not, go, oh, that sounds like a dude I want to date. Do yourself a favor and unmatch with me. I think I found my answer. You're argumentative and possibly bipolar. Yeah, I mean, I would say that his dating profile was a little bit misleading. Kind of feels like when you order food on a delivery app and the pictures look editorial as fuck, but then when the food actually comes, it looks like the main ingredients were hatred and experimentation. With his first message being, get serious. It's like, about what? You know, I thought at first maybe he was trying to insinuate something about her weight, like saying, oh, you probably don't go to the gym, but is he also trying to just cast doubt upon her love for Panda Express, cuddling, and or YouTube? I mean, those are pretty popular things. Because then that would be giving me the same energy as the same type of person who says shit like, what would you know about the super underground band ABBA? Why is he lecturing her about people falsifying things on the internet? You're the one who's coming across as disingenuous. You know, this is the type of person who has Corinthians 3:16, spread positivity in their Instagram bio, but then they're like commenting on every single one of Chapel Rowan's pictures telling her to kill herself. And then ending it all with a diagnosis. Good Lord. What a way to end a conversation. You know, Duolingo should teach a course on nice guy dialect, and saying goodbye just translates to, you have histrionic personality disorder. So this is another Hinge conversation. The first message starts out with him saying, well, let me know if you want to chat off here, or plan a date perhaps, cutie. Some time passes. Evil girl. Evil girl. Maybe she's afraid of big mushroom heads. And then she says, or? Nothing, I was just being a little naughty. I just think your aesthetic is cute, that's all. I'll just have to skip sweatpants prob. Are you drunk? LOL, whatever, I tried. You ignored my sweet messages, so I did a spicy one. I didn't intentionally ignore you. I've had an extremely busy month, so this wasn't really my priority, and that was a weird-ass message, dude. Alright, well, if you don't have any interest in wanting to get to know me now, then I suggest you unmatch. Receiving a supposed sext. from an entity that has the spirit of a forest troll that has had limited human interaction at the ripe time of 5:09 p.m. I just got off work. Please don't do this to me. I really wish that I didn't know what Big Mushroom Head was referring to. And let me give you a hint. It's not Toad from Super Mario. I know exactly what it's referring to. And I'm scared. If you're gonna talk to me about mushrooms, it better be enoki or shiitake. Otherwise, I don't really give a fuck. Also, the ambiguity of the message, I'll just have to skip sweatpants prob. What does that mean? The Childish Gambino song? In my heart of hearts, I'm unhappy to report that I believe he's alluding to what we're all fearing, right? A dick pic. And that type of photo sent by a guy like this, of just what I can gather from the messages he has sent prior, that caption is going to be something to behold. And in fact, here are a couple of captions I came up with just solely based on this dude's vibe. Today's weapon of choice, peekaboo, wink emoji. Devious lady who dares to play with the devil. He just wanted to say hello. Don't make him raise his voice. Mushroom emoji. So here's a post. So ladies, when you friend-zone the nice guys, you were telling the ones who possibly could be the very man you were looking for that they are just not enough for you. And so you continue to ask God to send you the man of your dreams, and he sends you yet another nice guy who you will friend-zone. Stop and think on this. How many men God has offered you just for you to ignore what you had asked him for. First of all, run-on sentence, holy hell. Being nice is just one facet of your personhood that might make a woman attracted to you. Just because you're nice, that doesn't mean that you have all of the other qualifications that she might want in a partner, okay? It just means that she's probably gonna feel a little less worried that you're going to stalk, harass, or kill her, which is good, but not enough to warrant this level of entitlement that I'm seeing. Also, I love the idea of God being the one to personally be sending out these nice guys, like he's running a Depop shop and he's responding to orders. He's getting so irritated, like, Kimberly from North Carolina keeps reordering the same item over and over and over, and it's like, honey, I've sent it out 6 times. Do we really think this is what God is doing with his time? I mean, I guess to be fair, he hasn't really touched much on the pediatric cancer or war or genocide of it all, so maybe this is his passion project in a way. You know, I'm really not too concerned about famine or homelessness. Really, I just want to make sure that men who know how to say please and thank you are getting an appropriate amount of French kisses. Also, this post kind of just doesn't make sense because he says himself, and so you continue to ask God to send you the man of your dreams, and he sends you yet another nice guy. Right. So not necessarily what I asked for. You know, I went up to the counter and said, can I get a burger and fries? Lo and behold, they forgot the fries. Okay, I'm just warning you guys, another one that's a little bit crazier than the rest. Serious question for the ladies. Would you rather fuck a nice guy that gives you the ick, or be abused by a migrant? I'm imagining him playing Would You Rather at a party, and he just silences the room with this question. Let's play Would You Rather. Okay, I'll go first. Would you rather give a nice guy a chance or have a hot anvil fall on you at 90 miles per hour in front of your entire family and friends? Hello? Why are you self-pitying and xenophobic? I would say just pick one, but really I would hope that neither are on the table. And I've noticed that this archetype of person really loves to cling on to a hypothetical. And trust me, I love hypotheticals. I mean, most of my jokes are literally metaphors and or similes, but in this case, I just feel like your point really becomes null when one of the options is just clearly so much worse than the other option. You know, like, would you rather bite into a rotten apple or break all of your bones one by one with the cracker that they give you at a seafood boil? I mean, I guess I'll take the apple, but baby, that doesn't mean it tastes good. I'm tired of getting friend-zoned by good-looking women. I'm sick of this shit for real. Everybody telling me, oh, your partner is gonna come. No, I'm tired of it. They need to get their ass here right now because I've been waiting too long. If you're getting turned down by attractive women, then you need to be with a woman more on your level and someone that finds you equally attractive. Remember, the more attractive she is, the more she's gonna need from you. But in all seriousness, dating is the last thing you should be focused on. You gotta get your mental, physical, and spiritual right. And then he takes this advice in grace. If I can't have a good-looking woman, I don't want it. I'm not dealing with an ugly bitch. You expect beautiful women to do charity work when their time and effort isn't even going towards a good cause. And obviously, I don't know what this guy looks like. Something's telling me that the situation can't be good. Beyond the blatant hypocrisy, the impatience is very unbecoming. I mean, they need to get their ass here right now because I've been waiting too long? Oh, I just know you're the type to snap your fingers at the waiter. You tell this guy, true love will come when you least expect it. That's not gonna work for him because he is in a constant state of expecting it, like it's his constitutional right. I mean, just the utter impatience and fed up energy in this post reads the same to me as when people are trying to publicly express their grievances with an airline on social media. Just so upset. So why do I feel like Delta needs to be tagged in this? So this guy left a comment on Facebook talking about the women's hockey team declining the invitation to the White House. He says, no problem. They can go back into the kitchen and make the men's team sandwiches. Sorry, couldn't resist this joke. At least he was sorry. And then we look at his profile, right? I'm a nice guy, honest, upfront, open-minded, and respects others. I'm like Jesus in person, but not on Facebook. For people who comment hate on the internet, there needs to be a law where you can have no mentions of kindness, heart, love, soul, or community in your bio. And if you do, I was about to say death penalty. Oh my God, that's harsh. And you know, this is the least problematic thing here, but it's very interesting to have these close-up pictures of yourself as your profile picture and your header. It's very much so giving this. It's a very interesting framing of the profile picture, very zoomed in. It's literally cut off from under his nose. His profile picture is this. So we can clearly see, you know, he was testing out a smoky eye and he missed. No, he's clearly religious, and I don't know how religious though, because it seems pretty egregious to compare yourself to Jesus. He says, I'm like Jesus in person, but not on Facebook. Which, thank you for that clarifier. As I can see here on Facebook, you're giving a little bit more of a Lucifer. A little bit more of a Lucifer vibe. But that's kind of blasphemous, no? Right? I would never compare myself to Jesus, and I have nothing to do with him. So here is a little comic posted by
xoxo.
Girl, I had to cut him off. He was too boring, always talking about stocks and credit. Now she's sharing a twin mattress with a grown man who yell at the game and ask her for gas money. Well, in this fictional woman's defense, the first guy did sound boring. If I was going out with someone and they were just constantly talking about finances, it's like, okay, Mr. Monopoly, I don't really want to play anymore. And listen, I will acknowledge that there are women who, you know, for some reason prefer to be with men who traumatize them or give them these like very high ups and low lows. And it would be better if they were with a nice man. But baby, I'm not talking about you. Because the actual nice men who are actually emotionally mature would recognize, oh, you know, this is a woman who is not healed, or she's going through something and she doesn't want me, so I don't need to be with her. However, for these so-called nice men, they can't take their rejection in grace. They need to create an AI-generated comic about a completely hypothetical situation. You know, like, It's okay that that dumb woman rejected me because she's probably gonna end up with a unemployed gym rat in a studio apartment while they sit on a cheap futon and eat nothing but Takis while she's begging him for air conditioning. Like, what? Where did you come up with that? All right, this is the last one before I can't handle it anymore. This is a conversational exchange. What's up with your fine, sexy, extremely f***able ass, baby? 11 a.m. That was sent at 11 a.m. What's wrong with you? Wow, that is the first time I've ever given a lady a compliment and she actually has the nerve to ask me what's wrong with me. It's not me that anything is wrong with, it's you. Because apparently you do not either know how to handle a compliment or actually against men who give you any compliments. But either way, I am sorry for giving you a compliment and you will never have to worry about me again. And I am a man of my word. You need to be locked away in a tower like Rapunzel, but you're required to have a buzz cut, so you really have no means of escaping. I mean, just saying all of that before noon. You know, whatever happened to good morning, beautiful? I miss her. Let's bring her back. So, let's just end it there. Dear God, please, let's just end it there. I would say I hope you all enjoyed this video, but I mean, was this video enjoyable? I hope that it was entertaining. But I wanted to end the video on a positive note. So how about we look at, let's look at a video of a cute animal before signing off. Oh my God, okay, wait, here's a duckling swimming in a watermelon. Oh, this better not be AI or I'm gonna kill myself. Sorry, I shouldn't say that so flippantly. Also, let me guys show you guys this video. If any of you are keeping up with Love Island, this was my reaction to last night's episode.
Damn, all the guys looking bad. No.
But okay. Whoa, I really sounded like some sort of like Barbie just went inside my body. That sounds weird. Whatever. I hope you guys get a good night's sleep. Please check out my short film. I would love for you guys to just like know more about it. And I think that's it. I hope I made you laugh today, even though a lot of the things probably did irritate you as well. Okay, until next time.